Okay, Elizabeth, deep breaths. It's almost over. Mount Evans Outdoor Lab, the place that has turned my life around and given me a purpose to live, it's almost over. It's almost gone. How am I supposed to leave the place that has brought me so much happiness and love when everything else has brought me so much pain? You can do it. 1 year ago, if I would have been told that I only had 10 days left in high school, I would have jumped for joy. Now, I don't have that feeling. Let's look back and see what has changed. I have taken the road less traveled. The Biosphere Trail might be hiked by 3,000 sixth graders a year, but to me, it's my road less traveled. High school, one word, so many emotions and memories. For some, those are happy thoughts. For me, the complete opposite. Over the past 4 years of high school, I have grown and changed in unmeasurable ways. Let's start with my freshman year. I was really into running cross country until I hurt my knees and had to take a step back. My whole life revolved around running and my peers who were also running. We did everything together, until we didn't. It started with my knees and not being able to run anymore. It was followed by running for student government and not getting in. From there on out, my once friends were no longer my friends, and I just started to hate my life. I went from having all of these amazing friends to having none. I just started to give up. I went to school every day, wandered the halls, sat numb in my classes, then went home. Sophomore year wasn't a whole lot better. I ran cross country again, had a couple friends, but they slowly left me behind, and I decided I was done with it all. Running wasn't the same, and I was done with that type of competition. My sophomore year went on, and it was the same thing each day until the end of the year when I made some new friends. New, older friends. With these people, I was pulled out of my comfort zone, and I liked that. I liked that they weren't preppy student government kids, and I loved that they liked to break the rules. I thought, breaking the rules is cool. I'll have a ton of cool stories to tell. Right? Wrong. I screwed up most of my junior year. I didn't make great decisions, and through it all, I pushed away the people that truly cared for me. I threw away old relationships for the hell of it. If I thought my sophomore year was bad, well, then my junior year was absolute hell. I grew to be angry at the world, negative at all times. It was so bad at a point that my parents were afraid to approach me in fear of me lashing out, and my absolute best friend was over me acting like life was out to get me. She took a few steps back, and by that point I had no idea what had happened to me or what to do to fix it. I dug myself a hole, and by the end of the year I was so far down, and I didn't have any way out. I was stuck. I thought that there was no way out until I thought back on the time that I went to Outdoor Lab in November 2015 when I was a high school leader at Mount Evans. That 1 week away from school in the peace of the mountains with all of these happy sixth graders made me so uncontrollably happy that I decided to apply to be an intern for a semester. And let me tell you, that was and is ultimately one of the best decisions I have ever made. I've never followed the same path, so choosing an alternate route, the road less traveled, just seemed like an appropriate way to spend my senior year. There comes a moment in every person's life where it feels like their feet are stuck in cement and everything else is spinning past in a whirlwind of catastrophe. And that is exactly what I was experiencing until my feet were ripped from the cement and landed on the dirt of Mount Evans. At that very moment, everything stopped spinning, and all that had been caught up in the tornado was gently placed down, exactly in the right place. I would have never thought that my place was in the mountains, standing in a circle with sixth graders, but even for a brief moment in my life, this is where I belonged. Fast forward to my senior year. I am the happiest I have been in years. I am currently an intern at Mount Evans Outdoor Lab, and I have been for 33 weeks. Life is easy now. I know what life is about. I know how to achieve happiness, even when I am not in a place that makes happiness easy to come by. I have met around 3,000 sixth graders, around 100 sixth grade teachers, and nearly 500 high school leaders. Life is good. Being happy is a walk in the park. It's no longer me trying to crawl out of a hole that I dug myself. I know each day that I wake up, I have and will make a difference in at least one person's life. Not too many people can say that, let alone at age 18. I may be small, but my impact has been so big. Now when I cry, it is out of happiness and laughter, not crying over how painful each minute of every day is. I am happy. I didn't choose the easy road to travel on, but every obstacle that I have faced in my life has led me to where I am, and I am so happy for that. If I had the chance to go back, I wouldn't change a thing. I have changed in the best of the ways. I have grown as a person and discovered who I am. I have changed because I know I have a purpose. During my training week, in groups of interns, we had to give each other words to describe one another, and an intern, Lyle Cooper, gave me the word baby bird. She gave me this word because she saw that I was scared to leave the nest, but now I've taken the leap of faith and I'm flying. Maybe the journey isn't so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you so you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. I love who I have unbecome, and the process of discovering who I am was and is unbelievably messy, but altogether beautiful. There are many lessons I have learned from Outdoor Lab, many of which, if not all, will carry with me for the rest of my life. One of the most important lessons I have learned is to love unconditionally. I have met several students who have disabilities and struggle with everyday life. However, they radiate joy and love for everyone and everything. From these students, I have learned that life is precious and it's not easy, but man, is it worth it. I now approach every day with love and a sense of happiness. We are not all blessed with a perfect life, but if you give love, love will come back to you tenfold. The next lesson I have learned is Outdoor Lab and the earth in general holds a special kind of magic. There's no good way to explain the magic of Outdoor Lab, but it's one of a kind of magic that changed lives. This magic has changed my life on multiple occasions, but has also affected thousands of sixth graders and hundreds of teachers and high schoolers alike. A saying we have here at Mount Evans is Outdoor Lab is the great leveling field, and it most certainly is. Each and every student has the opportunity to have their life changed and treated to be like a young adult, which is really amazing. What is also really amazing is that students who struggle in school strive at Outdoor Lab. We all have the chance to discover who we want to be and find what makes us happy. There's one student in particular who really proved to me how magical Outdoor Lab is for students. Devin, a student with a severe emotional disorder, was just another kiddo in my Weasel group, a smiling kid who I was confused as why he was considered to be an SED student. I never realized that treating him like any other student and sharing my love for everything I do would affect him so much that week. After Devin left Mount Evans, I learned that his teacher had told one of my teachers some details about Devin back in school. When this teacher first met Devin wouldn't take his hood off for the first 8 months of being in his class. Devin's hoodie had become something of a security blanket to him, and after being at lab for 2 days, Devin had taken his jacket off. He took off his jacket, not just the hood. I would have never known that this was abnormal for Devin, but it was. The magic of Outdoor Lab got to Devin and allowed him to feel comfortable in a place that he had never been to. Magic. With that, Mount Evans offers second chances for all that visit. Mount Evans gave me a second chance at finding happiness and life within myself. A candle within me that had been extinguished is now burning bright. I love that Outdoor Lab is full of magic, love, and second chances. Now that I have learned these life lessons, if I could talk to myself at a younger age, I would remind myself that life isn't easy, that there will be lots of hard obstacles and sometimes you won't think that you will be able to get over them, but you will. Everything happens for a reason, and some of these things you'll come across will make you really question that, but someday it'll all come together and it will all make sense. Whatever you do, do not give up. Don't let yourself think that you are anything less than beautiful, anything less than human. You are you, be proud of that. Don't let anyone get you down or stand in your way. Don't forget to smile. You will find your happiness and your way. And most importantly, don't forget that life is one big, beautiful mess. Appreciate it. The journey leading us up to where we need to be is never easy, but at the end of the day, we will find where we need to be. I found that I needed to take the road less traveled to discover my full potential, my purpose in life. Comfort zones limit us. They hold us back from reaching our full potential, and I have found just a piece of who I am. As my life goes on, more pieces will fall into place, and I can't wait to see what other comfort zones I will have to jump out of to find each piece of me. Do what makes you happy. It's the only way to make purpose of anything. 2 roads diverged in Yellowwood, and I took the one less traveled. Robert Frost.